Hey, I'm reporting to you from Erie, Pennsylvania in Presque Isle Park, and you're looking at one of the plaques or displays that was set up at what's called the Perry Monument, and you can see where we are located right here. Now, the so-called Battle of Lake Erie was actually fought down here at what's called Put-in Bay. Now again, these are just hoaxes imposed on the American people so that we have a hoax history and not a valid history at all. So everything is completely covered up and it's hard to ascertain the truth. So in this particular display, I'll take you back and show you what it looks like as a large display unit. Okay, you can see it's quite a big plaque, and I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the things on the plaque. So let me go to the flags. Now up top is the British flag, the flag of England, and below it at that time would be the US flag with 15 stars on it. Now on this display, I want you to notice how the two flags are connected. Basically speaking, America has never been free of England, and all the history you were taught was hoax history. And that includes this so-called War of 1812. Now here the plaque will say that America will declare war on Great Britain June the 18th, 1812. And the conflict will last for about 2 years. And they'll say many historians believe that the war was inevitable outcome of Britain's continuous interference in U.S. affairs, including the abduction of American sailors on the high seas and territorial disputes on the western frontier in Canada. Nonsense. All of it's BS. So what was the real reason? It's right here. Did you know? Oh, by the way, did you know that the White House was burned during the War of 1812? Now, the burning of the White House is significant in that it contained a lot of the papers and documents which would show and prove to the American people that there never was an American Revolutionary War. It was all a hoax. Therefore, those who were in charge got nervous and decided it was time to get rid of the evidence. And so the evidence was burnt. There was no trace of the documents that clearly showed America was nothing but a colony of Great Britain. And it has always been that way until it became a major corporation in 1871. So all the hoax and nonsense lies you were taught in school about the war for independence is nonsense. There was no independence from England. Use your head. The King of England, the Queen of England, England wanted everything over here, everything. And the best way to retain it was to convince the people that they were free of England. So let's look at some other things here. I'm going to take you over to some more text material so that we can talk about that. Okay, now the text here will talk about a Daniel Dobbins convincing President James Madison to build warships on Lake Erie, and that the conditions would be just right in Presque Bay to build those ships. And supposedly, according to Hoax history, that shipbuilding began in September of 1812. Now notice the name, Daniel Dobbins. Okay, often in Hoax history, they will take a name and use the same letter for the first name and last name. So you can see Daniel Dobbins, that's D and D, and that's a clue that it's a hoax. Now let's go over to the painting. Here we have the painting of a battle with the British and the Americans. And once again, there's clues to show you it's false. One of the clues I'm going to show you, actually I'll show you two, is this right here. Question mark. Look at that leg, how it's bent. Come on. You ever seen a leg bent that way? Question mark. Now over here, very clearly an M. Okay, very clearly an M. And there a question mark. And down here, I'm still trying to figure this one out, but take a look at this one. What's going on there? Looks a little like a swastika. Okay, so do you really believe that this occurred? That men were this close and couldn't wait to bayonet each other? Men were this close and couldn't wait to knock someone's head off with a rifle butt? What's he doing up here? He's out of bullets, so he's going to start swinging it like a ball bat. But yet he's a big target for a bullet. You really believe that? You really believe this guy here doing a somersault? Why is he doing a somersault? There's no reason to be doing a somersault. Okay? But looky here. It actually looks like this man has tripped him up. His own man tripped him up. Okay? So it's all hokey. It's all nonsense. It's all hooey. But yet, it's a hooey history. Okay? And the real reason for the Battle of 1812, or War of 1812 and the Battle of Lake Erie, well, all of it's hooey-gooey. But this happened right here. The burning of the White House. All documents would be destroyed, showing the real roots of America in England, showing that America was still under England. Why 1812? Well, that's about 30 years after the ending of the American Revolutionary War of 1781. Add 30 and you get 1811. So almost a whole generation has arisen, and people have had a lot of time to question things and to say, it's all nonsense. None of it's true. It couldn't possibly be true. And they wanted answers. So they were going to make a run on the White House and look at documents. Well, that's why there had to be another hoax war with England. And incidentally, England is the greatest military power in the whole world at this particular time in history. And there's no way anybody who's a farmer with no military experience can defeat the greatest military on land and on sea power in the world. But yet, that's the hoax history. So once again, thank you for watching.